And in front, on the right-hand side, is the Art Gallery of New South Wales. This is my favorite place. This.
That's not very attractive sound, guy.
is our black kite. lift, but that's alright. We'll give Stella the black-breasted buzzard. Everyone, this is Waru, and even with his sharp beak and feet, he does need help to get into that egg. And the rock. Nice. Well, that is the perfect tool for the job. Whack. Now, believe it or not, this is nothing we ever had to teach Waru to do. It's actually instinct. He hatched right out of his very own egg with this knowledge already inside. Now, he's done a pretty good job. He's made a small hole on the top. If it was a real emu egg, he would just stop there. Nice. Oh, good job. And he would lap the contents out from inside, but this one is a fake one, as you can already tell. Using their powerful feet, a bird like this, well, they could take down prey larger than themselves.
We are really happy to have owls in this environment, especially because we had a rat problem. You heard about it. Yeah. That rat problem.
Their names have meaning as well. They've actually been named after the specific plant types that are found in their habitat, allowing us all to be reminded of the connection they have with the ecosystem.
Nice job. Now, our
Nice. Now, Megan mentioned earlier that these birds do rely on tree hollows, but one large enough for them could take about 150 years to form.
Barracked all the police and etc. in that building. It then was turned into a jail, the second jail in Australia, and then it went to a museum.
But far now you can see the top on the right hand side. That's a 6-star hotel. And Darling Harbour. uh, 72 beaches around Sydney.
Alrighty.
He knows.
Feel free to answer any questions. Ask any questions. Right, there's 30 in here. 20 girls, 10. So this question in the water is ringing the dinner bell. Did you see how fast that was? About 30.
How long has she been in captivity?
All her life. Born and bred here.
Okay.
Just get you a hard bite. When they bite really hard and make a sound with their jaws.
Okay, you're gonna get a snapper.
Oh! Got some of it. See that?
Wow.
That's the one I wanted. Okay, we'll keep moving.
Is the same one?
Yep, that one there is.
Well, I think she must have been the one that came by the front of the restaurant because she knew it was time for the tour.
Oh, she didn't win yet. He's about 3.5 metre.
How old would he be?
He's about 30 as well. But he's from the wild.
Oh, 30.
He's from the wild.
Yeah.
He
His
is
name
a
is Little Boy. Watch this. Oh.
So they don't discriminate.
Oh, they've got it. Well done. Oh, nice. That's only 3 metre and weighed nearly a tonne.
Oh, wow.
And he was totally blind. He only had one eye and one tooth.
Oh.
And he was so big he was left alone, but we actually had to hand feed him. Because without having teeth they can't really get their own food. He was too big to jump from the boat.
Crocodile doesn't go after them?
Oh yeah, if he turns around he'll go after him.
Oh my God.
So he rings the dinner bell, oh, and gone under. Now imagine this at night time. You're not going to see it, are you? There you are.
Oh. Hello. I didn't think I would have let
That's a nest there in front of those birds. There's a crocodile nest. See that big mound?
Yeah.
4 or 5 metres back from the water's edge. That is a nest.
Okay, so do they make that?
Yeah, the female scraps up their nest. Just drop up, huh? That's probably her nest actually, because she's been hanging around here a bit.
Good catch there.
Go back. Duckweed on the top just makes it look great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it gives it that creepy charm.
Yeah. One straight ahead there, just lurking. So if you look at the croc there, on top of its head, its eyes, ears and nose are all sort of elevated, like on a disc. Actually connected to its body, so they're actually born with an armour. Now that's all protective layer. That's all bone and skin, oste, bone and skin derm. Well, sorry, top speed of crocodile on land, 8 kilometres an hour, top speed of a human being chased by a crocodile on land. You'll punch out your personal best every time, won't you?
I don't know if I could run many kilometers at that speed though.
A bit of rain stirs them up sometimes.
We've seen a lot today.
Yeah.
This is good. Right there, Blair.
Up the side.
Right in front.
Oh, how did I miss him?
Look at him. Yeah, I see in the back.
In fact, it's morbidly obese, but it's not the case. It's actually a pretty healthy looking blood python. So yeah, they're pretty heavy, they're stocky, they are ambush predators. So even though a lot of pythons use ambush as a tactic, they also do a bit of active foraging as well. So at night time they may move around and try and find their food. Whereas blood pythons are pretty sedentary. They'll just spend weeks and weeks on end, sometimes even months, in the exact same position. So that's very one that is extremely venomous and can potentially kill me. We'll see how it goes. Why don't you tell me what it is? It's a taipan. Well done. It is one of 3 species of taipan.
can't see him. The water's very murky, and that does not work in Brody's favour. That works in the crocodile's favour. Alright. Beautiful. Nice little feed. Looks like he's going to bring him straight to the cage for another feed. Holy moly. The chicken there, he's quiet. Nice work, dude. Oh, beautifully done. Give him a round of applause. He'll launch out. When he comes out, you're looking at an animal. Oh, nice, mate. Beautiful. You get a jaw pop? Oh, today. That looks dangerous, mate. Careful. So he comes out like that, mouth open, sweep. Doesn't matter what part he gets, he's not fussed. Teeth have evolved for gripping prey. So he'll slam down if he makes contact. The teeth interlock, so they get you like this. You know, they only need a few in you, and that's it. It's all over. Go over here. Make no mistake, this fella ain't tame, trusted, nothing like that. Couple of them big head shakes. Oh, he's just going to take you straight back in the water, just like this. He wants to drown you. So if he manipulates angles on this rope, it'll entice him to shake his head or roll. Oh, there's a roll. Another one, that was slow motion, but oh, big head shake. Loves the head shake to the krill. Another one. Might get a couple of rolls out of him if you can. Can't make him do anything. That was violent. Nicely done. Oh, another one. I think he wants you to go out swimming with him, Brody. Oh, there's a couple of rolls. Well done. Well done, mate. He's going to get one more. One more, all right. Encore. Oh, nicely done. Now he's got to get the slow motion for the pins. Now he's got to get the bait rope back. This is the hard part.
He's not going to give it back.
Yeah. Oh. Nicely done, mate. That's the hardest part, bud. We're going to try and give him a bit of food here, maybe just to give him a positive reward for doing that, guys. Just so he knows, you know, there's food coming. Oh. This lady said, please be careful. It's not a bump up crocodile. It's real. Oh. He looks keen. You on that gate there, Thomas? Nice, mate. So splash the water, this thing should launch out, and then he'll throw that tiny bit of chicken in his hand, try not to die. Good luck. Oh. You ain't looking at the chicken, dude. Oh, smooth match. Very well done, boys. Very well done. Crocodile show this afternoon. We hope you enjoyed that. Don't miss the other activities we've got on today. So if you go... Come on, mate, you're interrupting me. So if you go, he's having too much.
Yeah, so it is quite dense. The best description I've ever gotten is someone described it as carpet. Sleep for such a long period of time. Now, in order to stay nice and comfortable in the trees for so long, they've got a few different adaptations. So in their bum, they've got a W-shaped plate of cartilage, which allows them to wedge themselves onto a branch so they can be nice and comfy. If you have a look at her hand, she has got 5 digits like you and I, but they've got 2 thumbs. And the reason for this is because the extra thumb gives them enough strength in their forearm to support their entire body weight. So if they have a little bit of a tumble and they catch themselves, they can support their body weight, which is pretty cool for them. Yeah. Now, the lifespan of a koala is around about 10 to 12 years in the wild. In captivity, most things live a little bit longer because obviously we've got veterinary care and things like that. So usually around about 15 is how long they'll live in captivity. That's it. And then they give birth to a tiny little fetus that's about this big. It's the size of a jelly bean. Its eyes are shut, its ears are pinned back, it's got no fur and essentially no back legs. It's got 2 little claws for their front legs. Now this allows them to climb their way through mum's fur, so mum will actually lick a trail from her cloaca to her pouch, and the baby will follow that guide into the pouch, attach itself to the teat, and it will stay there for approximately 6 months, just drinking milk, developing. Now, once they're about 6 months, they'll start poking their head out of the pouch, just seeing what the world's all about. And they also have to go through something quite interesting in order to allow them to start eating eucalyptus. Because mum has got all these microorganisms that allowed her to break down the toxins. Baby doesn't have that. So in order to pass on those microorganisms, mum creates a special sample of fecal matter called pap. And it's basically a mixture of poo and milk. And baby is going to eat it. It sounds really gross, but that's the way nature is. And so baby's going to eat it, going to get a lot of those microorganisms, and then they can start digesting eucalyptus. So the next 6 months is them obviously growing bigger and starting to eat more and more solid foods. Around about a year old, they will be fully independent and they'll leave mum and they'll be only eating.
Explain that corals are all living things, so it's all alive. Although they may look like plants or rocks, they'll start their life out as a tiny jellyfish type polyp and have a connective tissue around a solid structure. So it is the largest living organism on the planet. We've got about 650 different species of coral in the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park, and between 150 and 200 of those are represented out here at Low Isles. And there's a huge giant clam. Did you guys see that one? Yeah. So as soon as our shadow went over the top of that giant clam, it flinched up, closed. Probably, they're very, very large. They can get up to a couple of 100 kilos and live to be 70 years old. The world's largest bivalve mollusk, the world's largest oyster. So it filters about 5,000 litres of water a day, and it gets a bit of plankton that way, but it gets most of its energy from sunlight. Coral is, it also has algae inside, this algae called zooxanthellae, and that algae is what it uses to photosynthesize the sunlight, and that's what also gives the coral its colour. Into the coral there, and then that calcium carbonate builds its way around that clam and protects it.
They're not officially lighthouse keepers. The lighthouse up the top there, it's all timber. If you go inside, timber frame, sort of timber deck up there. It's got iron guile in this one. There's on my planet. There's a couple of buildings and a lighthouse. So we have caretakers that live here. There were lighthouse keepers. Yeah, they used to have up to 3 lighthouse keepers living here with their wives and kids. So there's 3 houses here. There's a nice shell collection there. Good bottle collection. Apparently these old lighthouse keepers used to drink a lot.
Al, did you say you're going out to the Western McDonald's tomorrow, Stanley Chasm?
Yeah.
Okay. So two of the best looking dampers I've seen. See, you've got a real touch. Now, folks, I'm going to allow you to keep those gloves as a memento of your trip to Austraila. Now the colour of the character, wild life and grandeur, all in the world of its own, but you'll never, never know.
You never, never go.
You'll never, never know.
You never, never go.
To the Northern Territory, last time you'll never, never know.
You never, never go.
To the Northern Territory. Now, big finish.
Found a young one. The tree is actually edible.
Is this a young tree or an old one?
It's only about 5 to 6 years old. Oh.
Yeah, I can expand it and get a good picture if I'm playing it. When you take your fingers in it, oh, it's screwed up.
The color of your shirt and everything.
Second stage they are, and they're basically an orangey colour, similar to the tree. Third stage they're developing into the shape of that small insect. Fourth stage they're fully developed. They've got a greyish black colour, and then the wings are transparent blue. So at some point there's actually an exit point in this. There's a sack that's attached to the top and the bottom, and it has a button. So once that empties, they'll unplug the coconut, they break out, start the whole process. So you can eat the white coconutty flesh on the inside.
There's a spider in the center of it too. That's he's.
So you just got down.
Yeah. Feel like a Tiger Rock movie.
Go ahead. Go by. Oh, I don't want to interfere with you. I edit it. Oh, I know you do.
Yeah, they're rolling down the river.
Some. Oh yeah, everybody's following.
I get it fine. So, one or two, whichever you think is the best. Yeah. All right. They're not far. Well, it depends. Do you want a car with?
Oh, they're the ones, they have that big head up, right? But that's in the grassy areas or everywhere? Everywhere.
Place. 7.69 million square kilometres big, and with a relatively small population of just over 25 million people. 2/3 of our population live around the regional coastlines, and the remaining third live across rural and remote areas, sometimes more than a 6-hour drive to the closest township. Access to health services can be a real problem. Services that are taken for granted in the city are routinely just not possible outside the metro areas.
But there you can see all of our bases and common flight paths. You can also see a comparison for size of Australia to Europe, and because of that size of the continent, we split our operations up into 4 independent divisions. So here in the Northern Territory, we're part of the Central Operations, and that's the Northern Territory and South Australia. And in that area, we've got 4 bases: Darwin in the north, Adelaide and Port Augusta in the south, and Alice Springs is the oldest of those 4 bases, and that original base now houses our museum, and we've got our original radio equipment and communications room in there if you'd have a look.
Explorer named John McDowell Stewart. He was your first explorer to make it from South Australia to Northern Australia and then back again alive. So once he completed his mapping for Central Australia up to the north, he then handed his maps over to a gentleman called Sir Charles Todd, who then became the project manager of the telegraph line. So he was very famous for connecting all the telegraph stations in Australia. So prior to him connecting Australia to the rest of the world, he actually made the connection from Adelaide to Sydney, Sydney to Melbourne, and things like that. One of the last projects of the telegraph stations was Adelaide over to Perth.
About 450 million years ago, give or take a couple of days, the tectonic plates slam together and ends are facing one another and go bang. What do? All the pages come up and twist and buckle. One big lot got pushed up, right, like that. Then the surrounding countryside's eroded away. 2/3 of it under the ground. All right. Now, unfortunately, these paintings have been ruined quite a bit. Right. There's a story goes along with that where you can move to the west of here and find water as you go. If the story was important, then the painting may be done again as the story's being told. Now, the stories were passed on.
Here in Australia we have a dromedary camel, so one hump. So most of you guys are going to be riding in pairs this morning.
Who else with the big? You're with the big mob? Yeah. Are you with the big mob?
Lean back. Rock. Up. Rocky. Rocky, up. Get up.
Wake up.
Come on. Up, up. Rock. Get up now. Up. Rock. Up, up. It's my last day, Rock. Come on. Thank you.
Whoa.
You're only halfway.
Oh, bye.
For the one who are a little bit worried, nobody will be as tall as these guys. No worry about it.
Sunny?
Sunny.
Sunny. Last time I had Julius. You gonna be good to us? Huh?
He's always good. Very lazy.
Like the joke side.
The wharf itself was all. So originally, when you came into in the 19th century or prior to the 19th century, if you brought goods into Melbourne, you could only come so far up the Yarra River, and then you had to offload the goods, and then they were bought by train or by cargo train. Lovely view of the bridge here, and you can see on the far side where the cranes are to the gardens, for those of you that would like to walk to the gardens with me.
maybe a little bit closer to the waterfall today. If you are right down the front there, just do take care. Might be a bit of spray coming around the front.
Beautiful. Oh wow. Wow. I got this thing hard. I think we're gonna get a little bit. Yep. A little bit. I don't mind. I'm more worried about the camera.
Yeah, no, for sure.
There's this little one on the side there too.
Oh, that was
am from England, believe it or not, with this very strange accent. I remember the name Kim, so just call me Kim too, because Kim is going to be the star of the show later on. With lambs, they do like to try and wriggle and get away, and they do sometimes get the better of me. Kim's jealous. There we go. She's so cute, hey? So you might see the belly and the crutch has already been done here. So that's purely because it's very, very dirty on some of these lambs this time of year. So not the nicest to see on stage. It is something we do a bit more regularly than the full coats. So with the bellying and crutching, you'll do about 2 or 3 times a year. Maybe even 4, it just depends. Naked any minute now. So we'll get underway. I will be quiet as we mentioned. You see, it's not rough. And there we are, everybody. You're welcome. So the command that I gave her there, that she did so beautifully, is to go right the way around the outside. That's a get away command. And we want them to get away going right the way around the fence line. Because I don't know where those lambs are. They could be anywhere up there. So I want her to be able to go around the outside and make sure she's got every single one of them. So you see how she's moving them nice and gently, nice and slowly. Very calm for the sheep, as mentioned. Them in her eye line, she doesn't want to get off, especially when I was trying to command her, because she doesn't really trust in me as a shepherd. So you do have to build that bond. Me and Kim do split up a little bit. They haven't yet worked out safety in numbers, only work if we're actually together. So, and they don't like gates. Look at them. So the older they get, they start to realize that gates and being chased by dogs usually means new food.
Yes. How did you just do that?
French Pinot Noirs and Chardonnays. They grow them slightly differently here. If you look at the way the vines are when we're driving, it's a bit difficult because they've netted them to stop the birds taking the fruit. But if you look at the way they're one of the biggest differences that you have with particularly the French, but mostly a lot of the European grape varieties, the whole of Burgundy grows Pinot Noir grapes, the whole of Burgundy grows Chardonnay grapes, but you might buy a Chardonnay, could be a Chablis, it could be a Pouilly-Fuissé, it could be a Merceau.
that she was talking about.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Willowbank. My name is Sean. I started here in about 2000. Worked here for 18 years, and then I decided that maybe it was my time to go off and see the world. And so I went as far as Hamner Springs and started a horse trekking business about New Zealand and about the Māori people. So Māori, when they came to New Zealand, named everything, including places and animals, by what they either looked like or what they sounded like. With each other ducks and people. However, the paradise shelduck is one of the few birds in New Zealand that actually were quite thankful for people to arrive. Māori, their name is Potangitangi, and Potangitangi simply translates to noisy noisy. These guys here are being exceptionally quiet for them. I'm not sure if something's wrong, because usually I can't actually talk over them. So this is, of course, the Kia, spelled K-E-A, not K-I-A like the car. And this one here is a male. And I know, oh no, sorry, it's a female because it's got a slender bill. And that was really highlighted to me when we had the pandemic, because I was thinking about the monkeys that I'd seen in Malaysia when I'd gone to this big cave temple. And you wandered up these big, we've populated it. So we've pushed them further up into the mountains. You can see the orange underneath their wings. They're only just giving you a small glimpse of it. So you can see that this one's got quite a large beak, which means it's a male. That hang down under its chin. This one's a bit incorrect because it's only got one, but they should have two. And that they have this very long bill or nose that extends right down. Now, that has a few uses. One, it has its nostrils right at the tip there, which actually makes them have the shortest nose of any bird in the world. In Christchurch's history, because it was used on the river Avon before the machines went through to clean it. So they would put the black swans on the river to clean the water creeks. Endangered species and now extinction. All right, I think I've just about bored you enough. Come along.
Cardboard columns that create the roof structure. So they're about 2 feet wide. are made from bamboo, these ribs here running through this park. First World War specifically, it was erected as a memorial to the men that died in the First World War. You can see that you've got Gallipoli. And then on the other side is a bench, a long bench, so you can walk through the park and you can sit on the bench and reflect. On the left-hand side is the Botanical Gardens.
Rickety old wooden footbridge got washed away several times. Finally, they decided to put this more permanent. This is the art centre.
Their guacamole is to die for. Into stop 18, New Regent Street. Bars, restaurants, coffee bars, specialty shops, fabulous little street. 67, well, it's a jukebox that plays 45 records. And here on the right, this record shop sells 45s and only sells vinyl. So if you're a fan of vinyl, that's the record store to go into, Middle Earth Records. Here on the left, Waffle House. Cream and ice cream on waffles. I just look at one and put on £10. So
back in 1857, this Hogwarts Hall here on our left, that was built in 1925. As we go over the entranceway here, if you look to the left, you will see an A-frame stone building. That's the original classroom that was built back in